Deadly gun violence continues to plague the city of Milwaukee. We are seeing record numbers for a second straight year. And as the homicide numbers increase, the cases being solved decreases. It's leaving the families of homicide victims in Milwaukee desperate for justice.
Tonight, CBS 58 investigative reporter Kristen Barbarisi is digging into this troubling trend.
This year alone, more than 150 families in Milwaukee are grieving a murdered loved one, and fewer than half of those families have answers about what happened or who did it. 14 years old, recently accepted to Milwaukee High School of the Arts, life for Naquasia Terrell was just getting started.
Quay was a very energized, smart, loving, caring, and courageous young lady with so much potential.
But it all ended October 4th, 2020, when Naquasia was shot and killed.
This last year has been horrible. All I have left with my daughter is memories, and she will never make any more.
Naquasia's case is one of more than 80 unsolved homicides in 2020. Winfred Jackson Jr.'s is another. The 18-year-old was killed in Washington Park on March 17th, 2020.
We're at a brick wall. We're at a dead end after a year and a half. We don't know anything.
And it's getting worse. So far in 2021, only 45% of cases are cleared, a 7-year low. Part of the problem is the sheer volume of crime in Milwaukee. Homicides are up more than 95% since 2019, and resources are stretched thin. Mayor Tom Barrett's proposed 2022 budget calls to cut 25 officers. That's on top of the 60 and 120 officers cut in the past 2 years. The mayor says it's not by choice, but is financially necessary because of pension costs and lack of state support.
Many of the video recording systems may only hold data or that recording for 24 to 72 hours. If we're going from scene to scene to scene and we're unable to do the follow-up on the previous cases, we may potentially lose that video evidence. So that's just one example of dealing with capacity.
Inspector Paul Formolo says another problem is the community doesn't want to work with police.
There's been a decrease, I would say, in the level of cooperation in the post-George Floyd era. You know, and it's our job in the executive leadership here at the Milwaukee Police Department to help restore that legitimacy.
For families of the victims, the silence from the community is heartbreaking and frustrating.
We know that people know. And we know that some people can come forward, but they have not.
In my gut, in my soul, in my heart, I know someone knows something.
One group trying to bridge the gap between the community and police is Milwaukee Crime Stoppers.
We can help families of unsolved crimes start healing. You know, a lot of crime comes from trauma, and if we can start the healing process with people, maybe we can stop future crimes from happening.
In the 2 years since the program started, Crime Stopper Tips solved 40 crimes, including 4 homicides. It's not affiliated with police and is completely anonymous.
Anytime a citizen would call Crime Stoppers or use the P3 tip line, it goes to an out-of-state call center and their number's actually scrambled.
It's got to be a partnership between the community and us to reduce the level of violence taking place, especially among our young people in the community.
There are cash rewards in Jackson and Naquasia's cases.
You got to be accountable. When you go to jail, or your family can still call you. They can still do birthdays. So much. I can never pick up a phone and call my daughter.
If you call Milwaukee Crime Stoppers, you're going to get a PIN number. You can use that number to check back to see if the case is solved and if you qualify for a reward. That's how you stay anonymous. If you have any information, call 414-224-TIPS. Reporting in Milwaukee, Kristen Barbarisi, CBS 58 News.